Warning: this game is rated M for mature. This game involves acts of a violent nature, sensitive topics around sexual themes, and a very annoying talking bear. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome back, everyone. I completely forgot to do my outro the other day. Have the incidents really been solved? We don't know. Yeah, again, I completely, passed up the opportunity to actually do my outro. Whatever. Where? There it is. Horse. Alright, it didn't actually, fix my notes. I'll do it after this. So, we're actually going to be hanging out with the Sun Arcana today. Hello. Oh, Alan. That's practice. We haven't done much practicing since summer ended. Are you going to be going? Since they have horse, you might as well.
I see.
You're working hard, huh? I'm sorry, but you should just go to practice by yourself. I have somewhere to go. I'll drop by if I can make it. You participated in the acting exercises. You thoroughly practiced expressing a variety of emotions. It looks like Yumi didn't make it. You decided to see her at the hospital. You talked with the despondent Yumi for a while. I feel like your relationship is going to go closer soon. Okay, that's it. That's the entire reason why I had Horus.
You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. Man, today is short. I'm definitely doing, I'm definitely gonna put in the Edogawa's classroom right here. So I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna grab the bugs for tonight, and then I'm gonna come back and hang out with Dojima a little bit. So as of right now, I don't know if it's gonna be actually on the 5th, or if this was actually, or if I put it into the next day. But either way, we're gonna go over, not that. We're gonna be going over the TV listings. Oh yeah, the miracle quiz. I was like, what the heck is that? Edogawa's TV classroom, 6th of 10 lectures explaining Jungian psychology, personas, and sociability. If I remember correctly, this one's talking about basically social links. Yeah. I just realized that my desktop audio was off. There we go. Hello everyone, it's time for Mr. Edogawa's TV classroom. Everyone loves Jungian psychology, an invitation to the you that you don't know. This will be our 6th lecture. It's basically we're at the halfway point. Deep within our minds lies the collective unconscious shared by all mankind. It is made up of basic archetypes. I want to introduce you to another of these archetypes for you in this lesson. Last time we discussed the shadow, this time it's the persona. The title kind of gave it away, didn't it? Well, let's begin the lesson. Abracadabra, alakazam. Not so common word persona comes from the Latin word for mask. Of course, in this day and age, I doubt there are many people who actually use a mask in their day-to-day lives. They're mostly seen as works of art, used as interior parts of costumes, of course, but that's about it. In order to understand the persona archetype, we first need to grasp the idea of how masks were first used. Masks were commonly used in plays, festivals, and religious ceremonies. They were all used to play roles. The persona archetype name came from this role-playing aspect. Jung found an archetype that played roles and named it persona. Masks were always used as costumes. I guess that's one use has remained throughout the ages. Now, thinking carefully, what exactly is the ability to play a role that the mind has had since birth? Let's think about it. An actor wearing a mask plays his role in order to play, for the play to progress. So, in the case of the non-actor, someone playing a role, well, okay, here comes the question. I asked thee, what exactly progresses when a person plays a role in everyday life? I guess it would be society itself? Society, huh? Well, that's something of an all-encompassing answer, don't you think? It's also correct, so not bad. When a person plays a role in life, society moves forward. Society exists because people do what they please, so they split roles among themselves. In other words, they are people enacting roles on a world stage. Basically, what it's trying to say is, if anyone has ever played a class switching RPG, where it's like, right now I'm the wizard, and it's like I grab a different weapon. I'm a soldier, and then grabs another weapon. Oh, I'm a cleric. You know, it's like stuff like that. Basically, what he's saying is that you grabbing a hold of the weapon and holding it up is you are basically taking this weapon or this outfit, and you are playing a role in a group. And any one of the members of the group can take up the role, but it's more of where you fit within the group. Basically, one of the easiest ways to explain Jungian psychology is, oddly enough, in terms of RPG logic. And it's one of the more funnier things that I think Jung would have kind of chuckled about, like, if he like actually got to see video games. But like, where it's just like, it's like you just like figured out everything, because you have the character and then you have the role. You know, it's like, what's a good way to put it? Which game did the best? Bravely Default. Bravely Default has this mechanic where each of the characters can wear a different outfit, and they will basically be in a different class. The characters themselves do not change. This is the shadow. But when you overlay the persona on top of it, then it adds to the character by changing up their role. It doesn't change who they are underneath the clothing, it just changes their compatibility with the group. And so that's one of the best ways to explain it, you know? We use the parts of ourselves to make up society, and this ability to play a role in society is that persona archetype. Yeah, here it is. The human mind is not a standalone piece, but exists as a part of a network. I spoke before about how the human minds are linked through the collective unconscious, and the persona is a prime example of this. Every individual has the persona, which functions with interacting with others in society since birth. So you see, the persona is an archetype that is based on the premise that the human mind is a collective. Might be getting technical, but due to this property, the persona is often known as the social archetype. Now, when I say humans have an innate ability to connect with others, it makes the persona sound epic. But on the other hand, it presents a problem to people, especially you young ones. We're able to smoothly engage in society by using the power of our personas to become someone else. But that also means that society doesn't necessarily need you. So as long as there is someone to fill the role that you play. The persona then is the denial of will to live as your true self. It teaches you to become someone else that isn't you, so that you can survive in society. Persona acts as a mediator between your inner self and the outside world. Basically what he's saying is, you may have a job working as a cashier in a supermarket. Someone else can step up and be that spot. And so they don't necessarily need you, they just need the role filled. It's basically like it's basically the idea of, like, some people kind of take this into the direction of how little can we whittle down a society until we run out of, like, how can we, like, whittle it down far enough so we don't have any overlapping roles, but we also need enough roles to sustain everyone that is in society. It's one of these sociology problems that we are currently having right now, especially at a time where there is both a lot of jobs to go around, but not enough jobs to go around. You know, it's like people don't want to step into certain roles, and there are other people that want to step in the roles, but they physically can't because there aren't enough roles to fill. It's this weird sort of dichotomy that we only really started seeing a massive problem in around about like 15 to 20 years ago. When young people first enter society, many of them ask themselves, what does it mean to me? Here we have the ego and the persona act in opposition to each other. I was pressing B the whole time. I was like, why didn't I press anything? Keeping quiet, eh? You're listening, or are you just off in La La Land? This clash between the two happens within your psyche and shapes your life. Let me give you an example that you might better understand a little bit better. Say a person wants to contribute to society and lives life with a persona as an unselfish person. For example, a policeman or a teacher. I wouldn't really say them being unselfish. That's easy enough to imagine, right? That person, through the mediator known as his persona, started living as a reasonable life, making compromises with society. I'm a teacher, so I should live like this. That man's a police officer, so he's this type of person. We know a person's role makes interacting with him go more smoothly. In this way, your persona helps support your social life, making it easier for you to relate to others. The persona seems useful enough, but that's where the usefulness lies several traps. Donning the mask of the persona also means the suppression of one's own ego. If the mask does not fit, your mind will weaken and it will have a detrimental effects on your health. Wearing a mask that doesn't fit becomes a burden on you. Also, spending too much time in your role can cause you to lose sight of your true self. For example, as our subject dons the mask of a teacher, he begins to act as one outside of school, even at home, and it becomes the instance of a person who has been taken over by his persona. So while the persona is useful in life, there's a danger of it weakening your mind and overtaking it altogether. I just wanted to bring this up because I don't think he's going to talk about it here. We might talk about it in other parts, but this also goes into another problem, which is called the stereotype, in which someone fits a niche in a role, and so it becomes them, and they start filling a role. If enough people fill a role in a very distinct way, culturally it starts becoming an aspect that you can't really stop. You know, it's the idea of vaguely overweight cop who eats donuts because he doesn't have much to do because he works in a because there's already so many beat cops out onto the field that he relaxes and he doesn't do much. You know, it's this type of like stereotype that persists in our culture that we can't really get rid of a lot of the times. There are both harmful and beneficial stereotypes. Like, you will oftentimes find someone that fits a stereotype, and so you feel like that you can interact with them in certain ways that are both that are either beneficial or detrimental to yourself. So it's like, you see this grouchy old man, and so you automatically assume if I interact with him, I might have a bad day because he might he might like give off like a sour vibe, you know. And it's like, but like, who knows? Maybe he just like has like an to basically use an example, there's actually like a real thing where it's like if you're gaunt to a certain amount, like you might start getting like facial twitches where it's like you're always looking like you're scowling. It like happens, doesn't happen too much nowadays, but like nervous tics like that could send out wrong signals. And so you might accidentally start filling a role that their minds start filling in the blanks of. It's this weird sort of dichotomy of like the ego being suppressed by the persona, and the persona putting off a stereotype. But the ego might not carry that stereotype, and so a lot of the times when someone applies something to the stereotype, it won't always apply to the ego, causing a problem with the interaction with two people. Again, you see a lot of harmful stereotypes nowadays, but like, but again, there are some actually like really good stereotypes that are useful. You know, it's sort of like usually a doctor will be smart. You know, a doctor went through a lot of school, they did a lot of research, they have a lot of mental capacity to analyze and consider things in their head. You know, it's like, so someone who is a doctor will normally be intelligent. You know, so it's like, hey, I have a question about this, or like, you go to a carpenter about math, you go to a chemist about science. You know, stuff like that. I just thought I would bring this up right now because I don't think Edogawa was going to bring that up like at all. That said, your ideal relationship between your ego and persona is one where the ego controls the persona. Having multiple persona and using them masterfully leads to a rich life, and you should begin seeking out new personas and take on and live your life with many choices. You know, unless you're a schizophrenic, in which that might be really harmful. Now then, it looks like our time is up, so I'm guessing I should remove my mask as a lecturer as well. So that's it for today. Yeah, so we still have like 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. I don't know why that, was so weird for me to count. Okay, so either this will go up on the 5th or go up on the 6th. I will figure that out when I get to that. Okay, I'm back. Let's just save. Also made sure to pick up some new breadcrumbs as well, just in case I ever run into a need to use 4 breadcrumbs at once. Hey, Dojima.
Hey.
Bored again? Yeah. That bored? I'll have a seat. This time I'm actually gonna do my outro. Links down below to several things, including my streams. I'm probably gonna go live right after finishing rendering out this episode, in fact. So like it's gonna probably be like late at night, early in the morning I start streaming. So like if you're in the EU and watching these, who knows, I might actually be streaming at around your time. Leave a like and comment about several things. I did like a massive deep dive on several sociology topics, so like just let me know what you think. See you guys tomorrow.